welcome to the Panther Nation show, the show that connects you to TIS athletics. And Coach, it's been a little while.
It's been a minute.
You know, our audience has been wondering where we're at, but we've been busy with winter sports.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you've been coaching, and I've been on the sidelines taking stats and hollering. And, it's just been a real busy winter season, but we back.
We back at
Like
it.
2-3 did with 4-5. We back.
Fresh gear, too.
Fresh gear.
Yep.
And we're going to get into that because it is the season.
It's that time.
Tis the season. We got a new Tis the Season shirt this year that we're going to be rolling out next week for Sub-State. And it's just been a good winter season, Coach. You know, and we have a lot of stuff to shout out, a lot of teams to shout out that have had success and went to state and done some great things. And so the first team that we want to shout out is the Upper School Scholars Bowl team. They were CPL champs this year. They were the regional runner-up in 2A for regionals. And then they ended up being the 2A state runner-up. And this is their 23rd straight state appearance for our Scholars Bowl team. Shout out to those guys, young ladies, coaches, who had an amazing season this year.
Absolutely. That's a good group of kids. Obviously very well coached. I love that group, enjoy that group. And there's no surprise in their success in what comes with that group.
Yeah, so they did excellent this year. And thus join us on the Tis the Season shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Secondly, our middle school Scholars Bowl team, Coach. I mean, Scholars Bowl has a rich tradition here at the independent school. But our 7th grade team were undefeated Central Plains Middle School League champs this year. And they dominated the competition, and I just yesterday got their medals and plaque to add to the trophy case for some hardware in the middle school. So excellent group there. It's coming up, and I think we probably gonna have, by the time they're done, probably 30 or 35 straight state appearances.
And that's what we want to do with the whole school. That pipeline of success and that continued success that the Scholars Bowl program continues to have. And obviously something we want to have with all our programs here, and, something that we're building towards. So they are definitely the standard of what we want to do. I know myself personally on the girls basketball side, and obviously I know you and how hard you work in trying to get all these programs up to that standard.
Yeah, and it's not just in athletics, Coach. These are activities that our teams are thriving in. And so, we go back to the pillars of the vision. Excellence in academics, athletics, and activities. And we have shining examples of that all across the board. Moving on to our upper school boys swim team. Zane Baird, freshman. He qualified for state in 2 events. Ended up finishing 15th overall in the 200-yard freestyle. And he also finished 15th in the 500-yard freestyle as a freshman, Coach. Great young man.
Absolutely.
Great family.
I had the pleasure of having him in class first semester. And, he obviously get to know each other. He told me that this is something that he does year round. He trains year round. He competes year round. To be a freshman and go out and accomplish what he accomplished this year is huge.
It's very huge.
I'm excited to see him going forward.
Oh man, he's only a freshman.
Yeah,
so
he
he's
paid
only
the price too. He had swimming school for about a month.
Yeah.
At the end of first semester, so.
And just as a freshman, you know that he's only going to get better. But by the time he's done, he will be a state champion. And shout out to the rest of our swim team. Owen Scott, Eli Azier, Isaiah Page, and Zane was part of the relay team that qualified for state as well. They didn't make the finals, Coach, but they were the fastest. They had the fastest time in their relay out of all the 2A schools that competed at state. Because, in state, they compete 1A through 4A. and then 5A and 6A have their own separate divisions.
It's like that in a few sports. Right?
Yeah, it's like that in a few sports. I think bowling does it that way. Cross country, I think, does it that way. Maybe soccer as well. But for our team to compete and have the fastest time, that's a notable achievement.
Absolutely.
You know, and so shout out to the upper school boys swim team who made it to state this year. You know, moving on, our middle school girls 8th grade team. You know, we had them on the show. They represented, and they had an awesome year going back to back Central Plains Middle School League champions in the league and the tournament, undefeated. You know, that's hard to do, Coach.
Yeah, for sure. When you think about the pieces that they lost with Zoe, with Kiesia, with Chelsea, you know, the impact they're making because they're freshmen on the high school level. For those girls to still go out and compete and dominate the league the way that they did, and they always do it in a classy fashion, which is what I love the most. It's never degrading the other teams. It's always they go out there, they handle business, and they move on to the next one. So,
Yeah.
extremely happy for that group.
Yeah, we did an awesome ring ceremony at halftime of one of the upper school games. We recognized them at that game and gave them their ring for the second year in a row. And that is just excellent. And, you know, I'm sure you're excited to see these young ladies come up because you know it's just going to keep rolling. And these ladies have started a legacy. You know, they built a legacy in the middle school that will carry them into the upper school, and they are going to do great things moving forward. So I know you're super excited about that. Just yesterday, Coach, actually a couple days ago, we had our first ever state qualifier for bowling. You know, we started bowling last year as a program here at the independent school. And shout out to Andrew, Dr. Drew Nelson. My God.
My God.
You know, he qualified for state as a freshman. And you know, he didn't bowl his best games yesterday, but he did well enough to get there. And that's the first step. You know, qualifying to get there. And then once you're there, anything can happen. You know, you bowl right, you roll, you know, you're on a rolling string and hitting hard, and he could end up being a state champion.
Absolutely. I'm going to let him focus on the state tournament, obviously, but once he finishes and wraps that up, I got to have a match with him.
Yeah.
Personally, and see where I line up. Because I think I can bowl a little bit. And I've been telling him about this, and I don't think Andrew's taking me serious.
He's not coming.
I'm going to let him, you know, well-deserved, extremely proud of him, so I'm going to let him focus in and lock in and finish the deal. But then he'll have his real station.
Yeah, the challenge has been laid on the table. So Dr. Drew, we're coming for you after the season. But best of luck to him, man. It's an amazing accomplishment. I know he works hard at that, and you know, we're super proud of him. And not only him, but all of our teams and young men and women who have gone out here and represented TIS.
And all these kids and these programs that we shout at, it comes to no surprise because they're such good kids.
Yeah.
Like outside of their school or their activities, whatever it is that they do, they're just good kids around the campus.
Yeah, they're good kids, they're good students, they're good athletes, and they participate in everything. You know, you talk about a kid named like Eli Asia. I mean, he's in the band, he's in cross country, he's in the Scholars Bowl. I mean, he done went to state in several different things. You know, cross country, Scholars Bowl, swim. I mean, he does it all. Homecoming King. I mean, you name it, he's done it. So shout out to Eli. Shout out to all of our athletes, coaches, in our athletics and activities doing big things. 'Tis the season, still 'tis the season. You know, and again, we talked about, we got the new shirts that our teams are going to be rolling out next week for our boys and girls basketball. You know, they've had excellent seasons this year. You've been on the sideline, pacing up and down, coaching our girls hard. But they ended the season 16-3. #1 seed in sub-state coming on Monday. And for the first time in the independent school history, have won the Central Plains League championship. I mean, like, you know, we talked about in the earlier segment, building a legacy, making history. I mean, how does that feel, Coach?
It feels really good. Obviously, we talked about, you know, my first year being last year, and we talked about, you know, setting goals and trying to reach those goals. And last year, a big goal of ours was to make it to the state tournament. And, you know, the way that tournament ended for us, obviously the goal was to get there. We were proud of accomplishing that, but we weren't pleased with going there and losing. So, you know, we really set out this year to make that an expectation and not a goal anymore. And I think, you know, this league championship and the record being what it is just a testament of us making that an expectation and, you know, doing everything possible to reach that expectation. Regardless of the record, the scores, it's not always easy. And our girls, I'm very proud of how much adversity they face and how hard they work and continue to work to accomplish what we want to accomplish this year. So excited about that. It's big time for us, but obviously there's a lot more we have in store and we're good at the ready to accomplish.
Yeah. So, you know, let's talk about some of the players. I mean, who have had amazing seasons. You know, Zoe, Buckner Franklin, you know, she had an injury early on, so she missed some games, but she has been filling it up when she's come back, even before she got hurt. I think she's right around 20 points per game scorer, but she's also getting it done rebounding, passing the ball, and just being an all-around facilitator for your team as a freshman. You know, it was really cool at the Trinity game to see Coach Nooner, the women's head coach, sit in front row. I know they have interest in Zoe, and it was very cool to start seeing coaches that are recognizing the success of our program and players that are coming out. But can you speak to that just a little bit about her progression this season and how that's going?
Yeah, she just has a feel for the game that coaching really doesn't matter much. Obviously, we do our part to coach her up and make sure you know, we're holding her as well as the rest of the girls accountable. But just her all-around feel for the game, you don't have to overcoach on the sideline when you have her because she has so much skill and knowledge and IQ to put us in the right situations to get good shot opportunities to attack, do all the things we want to do to be successful in the course of the game. She is that within herself, and the pieces around her make it easy for her. You got incredible post presence. Nina, Steffi gets in as well. Chelsea comes in. Then our guard play. You got Kiesha around her. Who's a force. You got shooters, Sylvia, Quincy. All around, man, we just got a really good group that doesn't really lack in many categories. So, you know, she's obviously that engine that gets us going. But I know she would say herself that the pieces around her help make it easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you mentioned Steffi, senior. I'm almost certain she'll be a first team all-conference player. She's getting looks from several colleges. We even had my man from South Carolina State came down to Chaparral, actually Anthony, Kansas, to Chaparral to come watch Steffi play. And they're excited about her. And, you know, just seeing her, like, you know, she passes the ball so well. And there's so much more she can give, and I know you demand that out of her. But she's a facilitator too, Coach. Then you mentioned Dina and some of our other players that are making a huge impact for our team that has contributed to our success. So I look forward to seeing our girls get ready for this postseason run, which will start Monday, Panther Nation, at 7 p.m. here in the Panther Den. This is the second year in a row we have hosted the first round of Sub-State. And we need everybody there to give us that great home court advantage. You know, so Panther Nation, 7 p.m. Monday here at the Den. Wear your Panther gear. Come ready to rock it.
Back it up.
All right, and so moving on, our boys. You know, they've had their struggles this season, but they have been playing hard, Coach. Right now, they're sitting at 3rd seed in Sub-State. You know, and they could easily be a 1 seed. You know, we were talking about this earlier, and their record is 12-8, but 5 of those losses were within, 5 points, 4 points or less. You know, a shot here and there, or a missed shot somewhere, or something else, they could easily be like 17-3. You know, we have a young team, and you see it out there sometimes, Coach. The mistakes that they make is just lack of experience. Absolutely. But excited about them too. You know, they open up against Hutch Trinity on Tuesday, Panther Nation. 7 p.m., same time, here in the Panther Den. And they play a pretty good Hutch Trinity team. And so, a home court advantage is necessary.
Absolutely.
Because it does help our team.
Yeah, and to touch back, you talk about the lumps that they've taken throughout the course of the season. And not to get them an excuse, but yeah, they're inexperienced. They're a young group that's very talented. But you just hope going forward that those battles that they face, the overtime games, the close losses, you hope that they've grown from that experience. And I think that's an advantage you take going into postseason, that you've been in those type of battles. You know what the adversity feels like, and hopefully, they've matured enough going into this postseason to overcome some of that.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be surprised. Right. And they played great competition. I mean, Cheney put it on us pretty good. They're a good team. We went to the Tulsa Jinx tournament. They played really good competition, as well as the girls there. So, when you talk about scheduling and preparation for the postseason, these games are important to our team. They matter. And win or lose in those games, we learned a lot about ourselves. And I think that prepares us for that state championship run. And it's going to start next week on Monday and Tuesday. So again, Panther Nation, it is necessary. It's a requirement. It's mandatory that you come and represent tis the season starting Monday. Panther Nation has requested. They've asked. They saw us out there on the pink out night. We had the pink warm-ups, the pink out shirts. We was looking fresh out there. And man, we've had an overwhelming response from Panther Nation about how can I get one of them pink shirts?
Right.
I mean, if I had one on right now, somebody might run here and try to jump us, Coach, and take it. That's how overwhelming the response has been. And so, as a result, we've delivered. We have a Pink Panther shirt sale going on right now. And they don't have to take it from us, Coach.
Right.
They can go onto the link, which is going to be posted on the show today, and they can order their own shirt, as many as they want.
Yeah.
They're plentiful and
we should see a lot of orders coming through, because like you said, they were all over.
Oh, man.
Why do you got one?
I know. Hey, this is a special shirt. But it was a special night, though. We had the Pink Panther, the mascot was out there. Both our teams won. It was senior night.
And it's a great cause for wearing the team. We're not just wearing pink shirts just to have them.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's for a great cause. And I think we represented well. We look really good. The gym looked good.
Yeah, everybody was in pink. And I thought it was just a great night. And a great way to showcase, like you said, representing, but also supporting a great cause, which is breast cancer awareness. And so, Panther Nation, we'll share the link on the show. We're also going to show a picture of what that shirt looks like so you know what it is if you weren't there. But go right now. Click on the link that will be attached in the message of the show, in the post, and go and get your shirts, multiple shirts, right now, so you are ready for the next Pink Out night.